Snapdragon or MediaTek, which one is actually better? If you look this up, you'll get the same answer everywhere. Check the benchmark scores. Whichever number's bigger wins. That's it. That's the entire argument most videos make. Here's the problem. In this generation, Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 against MediaTek's Dimensity 9500, the benchmark numbers actually contradict each other depending on which phone you test. Same chip, different phone, different result. So instead of just listing specs, this video is going to answer one question: what actually determines which chip is better, the chip itself, or something else? We'll go through the CPU, the GPU and gaming performance, the EII hardware, and the pricing strategy behind both companies. And at the end, there's a real verdict. Not it depends as a cop-out and actual answer. Let's start with the part everyone checks first, the CPU. A CPU core is just a unit inside the chip that executes instructions. More cores, or faster cores, generally means the phone can do more at once and do each task quicker. Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 uses its own custom-designed cores called Oryon. This is the third generation of that custom design. The layout is 2 prime, cores that run up to 4.6 GHz, handling the heaviest single tasks, plus 6 performance cores running up to 3.62 GHz for everything else. Qualcomm says this generation is about 20% faster than the last one, while using about 35% less power to do it. MediaTek's Dimensity 9500 takes a different approach entirely. Instead of designing its own cores, it uses off-the-shelf ARM core designs, but all of them are big cores. There are no small, low-power efficiency cores at all. The layout is one Cortex-C1 Ultra-Core at 4.21 GHz, 3 C1 Premium cores at 3.5 GHz, and 4 C1 Pro cores at 2.7 GHz. MediaTek's bet is that an all-big core design gives more consistent performance across every task, not just the heaviest ones. In independent testing, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 comes out ahead on both single-core and multi-core benchmarks. In one widely cited Geekbench 6 test, Snapdragon scored 3,831 single-core and 12,459 multi-core, against 3,635 and 10,941 for the Dimensity 9500. So on raw CPU numbers, Snapdragon wins this round, but a CPU benchmark measures short bursts of computation. It doesn't tell you what happens over a 40-minute gaming session, or how hot the phone gets in your hand. That's where this gets more interesting. The GPU is the part of the chip that draws graphics, every texture, shadow, and lighting effect in a game. GPU benchmarks usually report a peak score, the best result the chip can hit for a few seconds before anything else gets in the way. Qualcomm's redesigned Adreno GPU in the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 delivers about 23% more peak performance and about 25% better ray tracing than its predecessor, backed by a dedicated 18MB memory cache built specifically to keep the GPU fed with data faster. MediaTek's Mali G1 Ultra GPU in the Dimensity 9500 claims a 33% performance uplift and about 42% better efficiency at peak load, plus support for ray trace frame generation up to 120 frames per second. On paper, that's close. In practice, here's where the numbers stop agreeing with each other. Some benchmark sets show Snapdragon ahead in both instant peak performance and how well it holds that performance over time. Other, separate tests show the opposite Dimensity 9500 holding a more consistent frame rate over a longer session, while Snapdragon's higher peak power draw causes it to throttle down harder to manage heat. And it gets messier than Chip A versus Chip B. 2 different phones using the exact same Dimensity 9500 chip, a Vivo X300 Pro and an Oppo Find X9 Pro, post different thermal results from each other in independent testing. Same silicon, different outcome. That's the actual myth this video is built around. A chip doesn't play the game a phone does. Cooling design, how aggressively the manufacturer lets the chip run before throttling it, even the physical size of the vapor chamber inside the phone, all of that decides what you actually feel in your hand, more than the chip spec sheet does. A benchmark chart tells you what a chip can do in ideal conditions. It doesn't tell you what your specific phone will let it do. The NPU, or Neural Processing Unit, is a dedicated block on the chip built specifically to run AI tasks, things like real-time photo processing, voice recognition, or running a small language model directly on your phone instead of sending it to the cloud. Both companies advertise roughly the same number here, about 100 TOPS, short for trillion operations per second, but that single number hides 2 very different engineering choices. Qualcomm's approach adds matrix acceleration directly into the CPU cores themselves, working alongside the Hexagon NPU and a separate always-on sensing hub, a low-power chip section that can stay active even when the rest of the phone is asleep. The goal is fast, responsive, agentic, AI assistants that can act on your behalf using context they've gathered over time. MediaTek's approach centers on something more unusual, a compute and memory NPU design, where calculations happen directly inside the memory itself instead of shuttling data back and forth to a separate processor. Combined with support for 1.5 8-bit quantized models, a technique that shrinks AI models down dramatically in size, this lets MediaTek run meaningfully larger AI models fully on device, without needing an internet connection, while drawing less power to do it. So the 100 TOPS headline number is basically a tie. The real difference is what kind of AI experience each design is optimized for. Qualcomm leans toward fast, always-on personal assistance. MediaTek leans toward running bigger models locally and offline. Both chips are built on the exact same manufacturing process, TSMC's 3nm N3P node. That's normally one of the biggest factors in efficiency, but this generation, it's a wash. Neither company has a fabrication advantage over the other, which brings up the myth that's been following MediaTek for over a decade, that it's the budget or backup option, and Snapdragon is always the premium choice. That reputation made sense years ago. It doesn't hold up anymore. The Dimensity 9500 isn't a mid-range chip wearing a flagship badge, it's genuinely competing at the top, inside real flagship phones like the Vivo X300 Pro and Oppo Find X9 Pro. And looking ahead to the next generation, MediaTek's upcoming Dimensity 9600 Pro is rumored to launch around 28% cheaper than Qualcomm's upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro. That's not MediaTek quietly catching up, that's MediaTek undercutting Qualcomm's pricing at the very top of the market. Qualcomm still leans on something MediaTek doesn't have as much of yet: deeper years of deeper game studio optimization relationships, and broader adoption across the biggest flagship names like Samsung and Xiaomi. That matters for real-world software support, even when the silicon itself is closely matched. So back to the question from the start, is Snapdragon or MediaTek actually better? On raw CPU numbers, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 wins clearly. On GPU and gaming, it's genuinely close, and which one wins depends more on the specific phone's cooling and tuning than on the chip itself, which is exactly the myth this video set out to test, and it held up. On AI, it's a tie in headline numbers with two different real-world strengths. And on price, MediaTek has moved from budget alternative to a direct, undercutting competitor at the flagship tier. The honest verdict, if you want the highest guaranteed peak performance and the deepest game studio optimization, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is the safer pick. If you want flagship level performance with strong efficiency, and you're not willing to pay Qualcomm's premium, the Dimensity 9500 is no longer a compromise, it's a legitimate, well-reasoned choice. Which means the real answer was never the chip name on the spec sheet. It's the phone built around it. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to Aksu Does Tech Stuff, where we break down complicated technology into simple explanations. See beyond the specs.